You're listening to Edge Radio TV. The views and opinions expressed in this program are that of the host or guests, and not the Edge Radio Network or its advertisers or affiliates.
Good morning. Welcome to the Wealth and Legacy Show, the place where your money matters. I'm your host, Ezra Spears, my co-host, Marsha Song. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, Ezra. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. We have a great show lined up for you guys today. Today we're going to get into overhead expenses, as well as once we get to that point, we're going to show you guys how to save some money and bring on our special guest today. So I'm getting some stock options for you to teach you guys how to trade stocks.
It's gonna be a great show. So excited. So you know, Ezra, you just said expenses. Nobody wants to hear that they're spending money. What are some of the biggest expenses that people have nowadays?
A common one we all share, of course, is our mortgage or our rent, right? But most people don't really understand that our biggest expense is really insurance.
What? Are you serious?
Think about it like this, okay? So you pay your life insurance, you pay your health insurance, you pay your cell phone insurance, you pay your, what are you having right now? Animal insurance.
Wait. Animal insurance. You know, I've seen that. And I have a lot of friends that spend a lot of money on
No, but think about it like this. Like we rescued a cat last year. And we went to the vet and they were like, do you want to get animal insurance? Like, animal insurance? Like, I don't know this cat like that. You know what I'm saying? Why am I insure this cat?
Cat's like, well, you're going to be paying big time.
No, if it runs away, then kids, I'm sorry. The cat didn't want to be here anymore. He left. You know what I'm saying? He went to a better place.
Okay, so about what percentage of people's income or expenses are insurance?
It really depends on how much you love somebody. Or yourself. It really does. Some people pay a lot for insurance. Some people pay a little for insurance. But it's one of those things that I tell people, all right, yes, like say health insurance, right? So health insurance you pay out of your paycheck. Every 2 weeks, you have money come out of your paycheck, and it's a lot of money. $200 to $400 depending on the size of your family, right? And that can be expensive. The worst part is you spend all the money. Don't go get insurance. Don't go to the doctor.
You know, so what you're really saying is if someone's not paying for your insurance, they don't love you. Is that what we're saying?
I'm not saying that, but I'm kind of saying that. Because for me, like in my household, something happens, right? People get sick. You don't want to spend money behind the fact. Behind the fact means that when they get sick, you want to pay to keep them alive, but you have no reimbursement of your money. So that's really what insurance is, the reimbursement of your money. But it's one of those things I tell people, you got to be aware of your expenses. So, and there's some tricks, right? So if you own your own business, some of your insurance could be tax write-off.
Did a lot of you guys know that out there?
No, I'm sure they didn't. So it really has to do with how you structure it, right? So if your insurance company or your company owns your insurance policy, then you make your insurance company the beneficiary to the policy. So when you pass away, the company receives the money. You might have your wife or your spouse as the beneficiary to the company.
Okay, you know what? Now you're getting into some heavy.
No, it's not that heavy.
Information that people are like, whoa, wait a minute.
Mama, we're gonna help the people though. I want to help them understand how this thing works. So, because a lot of people that I have a lot of clients that when they start their own business, maybe small, right? They might start with Uber. They might start, starting their own business, be insurance, real estate. But when they get there, they've been using TurboTax for their taxes. But when you start your own business, and you start putting them numbers in, the questions are different. So I want to really clarify what overhead expense is for people so they can understand what's a tax write-off versus what's not tax write-off. But it goes hand in hand because it's very important now.
So let me just back up. So for everyone that's watching, maybe you're just worried about your own personal, financial strategy, or you have a business, or both. So overhead
All right, so overhead
Expenses,
is
explain
what
the
it
difference.
costs to run your household or your business.
Okay.
Those-
So the cat's insurance does not
Nah,
count?
it doesn't
Okay.
count. No. Cat insurance doesn't count. If you are in real estate or in insurance and you buy clothes, professional business attire, that's not a uniform. That's what you choose to wear. That's not an expense.
So you mean the new shoes, a new purse,
Red
new
bottoms, none of that
belt?
is a taxable write-off. Okay, makeup and nails is not unless you're a model. Now, if you're a model, then you might be able to get away with some of that. But if you are in a sales position that think yes, and it does matter, what you look like does matter for sales, it does not mean it's a tax write-off. There's a difference. But I will tell you, a lot of people miss on depreciation of the vehicle. So if you're driving around for work and you are calculating your miles, but your car also depreciates. So therefore, there's a calculation that does that. And the reason why that's important because a lot of people call Ezra, I want to get a business loan, but what is what I need, right? What do I need to do? And biggest thing with that is when you have your deduction or your depreciation, that's an add back, meaning that on the first go around, when you look at your tax return, you will, yes, take a loss or reduction on your gross income, but when they get ready to get financing done at the bank, they will add that depreciation back in, so it increases your income. That's Uber is very important when it comes to buying a house.
Wow. So these are all the nice little gold nuggets, and that's what we're doing on the show. So wow, we're going into a real heavy portion here.
But it's basically, you want to wake up, you want to figure, okay, it's the beginning of the week, what I need to do to get my life right. I done spent a bunch of money this past weekend, and I need to figure out, okay, what do I need to do to better prepare myself in position? So we're gonna give them all the true tools of the trade to make sure that they're making wise financial decisions.
Well, you know what, Ezra, you are such a wealth of knowledge.
Well,
Literally,
thank you.
that's why it's called the Wealth and Legacy Show, folks. So anyhow, so we want you guys just to keep watching, stay tuned, because at the end of the show, we're going to go over 3 financial tips. We're trying to make it simple and easy for you. And plus at the end, we'll show you how to get a free gift from us as well.
Yes, so stay tuned. You continue watching the Wealth and Legacy Show, the place where your money matters. I'm your host, Ezra Spear, my co-host, Marsha Song. Welcome back to the Wealth and Legacy Show, the place where your money matters. I'm your host, Ezra Spear, and my co-host, Marshall Song.
Hello, welcome back.
So we talked a little bit before about expenses, and I know our guest today, Mr. Nathan Williams, is going to get into option trading, but a lot of people want to get into things like that, but necessarily know where to find the money at because the bills are kind of tight. So we're going to get into how can we free up some cash to take advantage of some future opportunities that you may want to get involved in. So let's talk about one of our most painful bills we have that everybody experiences, the power bill.
Oh, no. Painful.
Yes,
painful
it is.
Power bill. Is that what it is?
That's what it is.
All right, let's take a look.
So the first thing we want to understand is, okay, how do we buy power? And so, Marshall, can you please explain to the people, how do we really buy power so they can understand? Because I have a master's degree, and I didn't understand what a kilowatt was until I bought a house. And it was sad. And so we're going to help you make, wise decisions. So please break it down for us, and what can we anticipate when we look at trying to buy power?
Sure, and I think it's important for people to know that there's a lot of different ways that we can, you talked about insurance earlier, and so power is one of those that you do have a lot of options. And we'll take an example that what people commonly do. One of the websites a lot of people do here in Texas, we are in a deregulated market for most part, and there's over a dozen states are deregulated. So regulated states will be a little different. So if you have family or friends in those states, it won't apply to you. But it's still good to, you also gain some valuable information here. A lot of people here in this state will just go to powertochoose.org and it'll just pull up a variety of companies. Not every company is going to be listed, and you're going to see a series of rates. And if you look closely, the first thing people look at is what? The big number, right? In the middle, the 9.2, 9.3, 9.4. And what does everyone do? We all do that, right? Mm-hmm. Whatever we're buying, go online, do a search, and hit the lowest price. But if you look just under that, you'll see below the 9.2 to the left, it says 500 kilowatts, and then the right says 2,000 kilowatts. So that's what you want to look at. And then the second thing is if you click on, they always say it's like the bait and switch. Yeah. Once you click on it, then you see the actual terms, because not everything is what you think it is. You think you're buying it for now, and you think that's your rate for 1 to 2 years. It's not always available. And then you have to look at the kilowatt, basically how much energy you use. That's all it is. Kilowatts a measure, unit of energy. So you don't, with the master's degree, need to know what that is. Just need to know that you're going to be charged for it, okay?
Yeah, you will.
And how much you use. So in this case, 500 kilowatts means for the first 500 kilowatts you use for that month, it'll be at 9.8 cents. And then 2,000 kilowatts, 8.9 cents. So it goes down. That's where they're getting the average. And you got to look at the specific terms of your agreement, because especially for your home, there's a lot of free nights and weekends. And the reason why that is, it's great. It's because there's a lot more power available. Everything is supply demand. We see it in this life. Like today we're going to talk about stock options and just in general. The more something's in demand, it's not available, it's more expensive. And that's a fact of life in this whole world. Everything we do. So in this case, you really want to look at your usage and the plan. If you are someone who, you may have work at home, and in the summer when the kids are there, all the power's on, you're going to be paying a lot more. So that free daytime doesn't apply. So just note that. Just know what the terms are, the agreement. I've seen people say, I'm getting a great rate, but it's only good for 3 months, and then you got to start all over again. So just I got to be aware of that.
Let's get into a bill. I want to see what a bill looks like, because this is the part where rubber meets the road. So all your research that you put in, your due diligence to see, okay, am I winning or am I losing in this?
The easiest way to explain, we'll go into the bill, but I just want people to know that, know that every company, when you're in a deregulated market, they itemize. The bill is different. So the easiest way I can explain it to is if you buy an airline ticket, and some people include a bag and some people don't. Mm-hmm. So we don't want to get into the specific airlines, but you're not comparing the same thing. So realize when you purchase and when you go out for a contract, you've got to make sure you're comparing apples to apples. You may not be able to compare apples to apples, but you've got to know what you're looking at to see. What do they include? What do they not include? And when we look at the bill here, you're going to see this one's pretty much more straightforward. When you go down to the first section, energy charge, that is what what the electricity company charges you. Okay, that is the contract that you sign. It's the only thing that from a price point, that's the only thing you're contractual for. The other stuff that just comes in that you have no control over is what we call our TDU charges. There's pass-through charges. Basically, if you want electricity, folks, you're paying for someone to bring it to you. All those power lines. So when we have hurricanes, weather issues, major construction, transformers get blown out, winter storms, things like that, a tree falls down. It's a domino effect and it has to be repaired. Well, guess who pays for that?
We do.
It's like a freeway. Just think of it is the electrical freeway. So anything to get you there, because a freeway is no good if there's no on and off ramps, right?
Correct.
So think of the on and off ramps just like your home. So TDUs, you have to pay for it. That's a whole nother thing that the electricity companies are not responsible for. There are several different TDUs in the state of Texas that are responsible to getting this out there, and everybody's rates. On the business side, if you have a business, it's very custom to your business location. Residential is sort of same across the board, because they know there is no, once a house is built, a 3,000 square foot home, that's it. It doesn't keep shifting. But a business, you have a strip center, and each business operates completely differently. How much electricity they need is different too. So TDUs, you're paying for that whether you like it or not. It comes with it, and then the sales tax. So what you really want to look at from your bill is your rate, and then also if you look at the third box to the right, the kilowatt usage, that's what you're actually consuming. Okay. So your TDUs are the ones that make sure that the power is available to you, depending on how much you need. But the kilowatt usage is what you pay. So the rate over here is 5.2 cents, and it's you're using 695 kilowatts a month. That's your usage right there. The demand really applies more for businesses, and that just means how much you'll need at any given point. And it's regulated, it's monitored in 15-minute increments, and that history lasts you for about a year. So those are the things that are really in your bill, and the only thing you can really control is your usage. And when you sign for. And just to let you know too, one of the biggest things you want to do to save is shop when it's cheap, people. You want a good deal, buy when it's on sale. When the demand is low, think of like off season, high season, low season. Buy low season, your rates are usually cheaper. So that's the best way. And also another thing to do is monitor your usage. Just 3 quick, simple things. Be a smart shopper. Buy when it's low. And then number 2 is also manage your electricity usage. Kids leave the lights on, right?
I got a story to help y'all in a second with that one.
Yes. And also too, be as energy efficient as possible. Your appliances, switching out lights to LEDs, have an insulation. There's a lot of great tips you can just go on the internet and look for. So be energy efficient. Shop when it's on what we call low season, when it's low supply, and also manage your usage. Now,
let me tell you, for those people who have children who literally light bulbs on, or light rooms on, lights on, all the above, doors open. So let me tell you how I was able to manage my power bill. I told my children, I'm gonna start charging you for every light bulb you leave on. Every time you leave a room, you're gonna pay me 25 cents. And then guess what happened? All of my light bulbs start going out.
That's the way to do it, folks. Well, stay tuned. We'll be right back with our guest, Nathan Williams.
We work our whole lives to support our families. With one accident or illness, it can all be gone in an instant. Now there's a smart, affordable way to protect your family. Go to findhealthbenefits.com and discover low-cost life insurance for as little as $2 per month. Add to that a tax-deferred annuity that can help you protect your assets and grow your money for retirement. Learn more. Go to findhealthbenefits.com or call 877-235-6094. A critical illness can strike without warning and wipe out your life savings. In fact, it's the #1 reason for bankruptcy. Find Health Benefits offers an affordable solution. Get up to $50,000 if you get cancer, stroke, or a heart attack, giving you the peace of mind to focus on getting better while the plan helps you to pay your bills and medical expenses. Learn more. Go to findhealthbenefits.com or call 877-235-6094. 66% of seniors spend more time shopping for cable TV than Medicare plans. Most say because it's just too confusing. Laws change every year. The wrong plan could cost you thousands and prevent you from seeing the doctors you want. Introducing FindHealthBenefits.com. Save time, save money, see specialists without referrals. Go to FindHealthBenefits.com or call 877-235-6094 for this informative brochure.
Society is on the edge. Let's bring them back. Edge Radio, because truth still matters.
Welcome back to the Wealth and Legacy Show, the place where your money matters. I'm your host, Ezra Spear, my co-host, Marshall Song. And thank you for joining us, Mr. Williams, my man. He's going to get into stock options and what does that world look like. So, man, let me go ahead and ask the first question, dude. Give us a little bit of background about your trading and your experiences and how you get involved in it.
So I started trading 14 years ago, 2007, right before the Great Recession.
It was a great time to get in, huh?
It was a good time. Everything was going great until the Great Recession. Then I got out, so I was done very quickly. But a fraternity brother of mine had talked to me about a company he was involved in. I joined, started doing more research about stocks, and one thing led to another. I've traded everything from stocks to binary options to futures, commodities, Forex, since that time. So it's been a journey, been a very good journey, very long journey.
It's evolved. The industry's evolved quite a bit, huh?
Definitely has changed. Definitely has changed. A lot more volume in the markets now, a lot more volatility, and a lot of more misconceptions, which I think we'll talk about a little later on.
So when you learn to trade, how long did it take for you to really get comfortable with doing it on your own and not asking your friend for, hey, should I buy? Should I sell? How much should I buy?
So I'm an avid researcher. So it for the most part, I started out on my own. I didn't have anybody to really depend on other than people in the forums. So for the most part, before I became profitable, I think it's a more of a suitable question, and it took a couple of years before I started actually making money consistently in the stock market. Okay,
so we just want to clarify, it took him a couple years, and just to let you guys know, Nate also has a degree with math and science, so he knows numbers. So we're trying to be realistic here.
Yep.
So your background, your education, formal education background, what was your biggest gain? And I also want to ask, what's your biggest loss? So people can put it in perspective, because I don't want people to get misunderstanding that you could come on, start trading day one, make a whole bunch of money. So I want a real life scenario, what it really took to get there. People don't see the work Kobe Bryant did in the gym. They just see him playing in game time.
Yeah, they're thinking, I just go and pick up 5-pound dumbbells for a week and I'm going to look like, The Rock. So I can just take my $100 here and and
Turn it to 5,000.
Yeah, and you hear those stories. I'm a millionaire now, So yeah, give us the.
It definitely can happen.
biggest-
I think the world has seen the huge gains lately with cryptocurrency and some of the stock plays. Personally, though, biggest gain for me, and I'm a conservative trader. I'm not too aggressive, semi-aggressive. But I say my biggest day was about 15,000. My biggest loss was about 5,000.
Okay, so walk us through the biggest gain, the
Biggest gain?
15,000. Yeah, people are saying, did he use? It's like, is it Vegas? He put $5 in, and
Oh no. 15,000. I had a 6-figure account that I was trading on, so it took a sizable account to be able to make that type of returns in a day. And then the loss, similar account as well.
All right. So,
okay, wait. So, but come on, they're crying now. Like, no, you're telling me I have to have 6 figures to trade, and I can lose 15,000.
You could. I mean, you can lose your whole account. But it depends on a lot of factors on if you can take a small account and make a lot of money. Are you consistent? Do you have what we call in the market sniper entry? So you're literally getting in where the price has literally turned around, it's not coming back to that point. So knowing the different tactics to get in there will allow you to, for example, last night I actually did 200% on a smaller account that I'm trading to show people that you can make a lot of money on an account. But I've learned different tactics over the years so that I can actually take and what's called sniper entries, where I can manage and over leverage a smaller account to make a sizable amount of money. So it's feasible. You just have to have the skill set.
I like that sniper entry. That's like, ooh, you're getting in. Nobody knows. I like that.
So let me ask you. So on a conservative amount, what dollar amount do you think somebody could go into and be, I'll say, happy with the returns? Was it something they need to be planning on? Okay, I need to save $1,000 to get started. I need a 500, 5,000. What number do you think somebody could be comfortable with getting started and see respectable returns?
So, with the program I have with stock options, and I think we'll talk more about that later,
Yes.
starting with $1,000, $1,000 to $2,500 is a good range for most beginners.
Oh, that's not bad, actually. I was thinking it's like 20,000.
Oh, no, yeah, you start with a lot less. And then the goal is to be able to give them the tools and the training to ensure that they can make an extra $500 to $1,000 a month, but then eventually get to the point where they can make that same $500 to $1,000 a week, with the right skill set.
So if they cancel the cat insurance, maybe you can start trading.
You're absolutely right about that. So let me ask you this question. What are some of the misconceptions about trading and things people either watch the wrong YouTube video or had the wrong friend that tells them go do X? What is the biggest thing you see people making errors in?
Biggest misconception is following the gurus, not knowing what they're doing behind the scenes. As you said, Kobe put in all the work. Therefore, Kobe already had the skill set. He already had the muscle memory. He knew, how to snap his wrist at the right time, how to fake out. So he knew all that because he put in the time. Someone who doesn't put in the time that just wants to copy and paste, not understanding the full ramifications, that's a misconception. Buy low, sell high. I hate hearing this one. Everyone says, "Oh, buy low, sell high." Well, how do you know when it's low, and how do you know what's high?
That's true. That means that they're predicting, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and then what was it? A lot of people say when I buy low and I think it's going to go high, it goes even lower. You hear that?
Yep. I bought the dip. You hear it in cryptocurrency. Buy the dip. I bought it. It's still dipping. Happens all the time.
You never know. Okay, and and tell us, that the huge thing that also happened a while back, the whole thing with the Wall Street beats and versus Wall Street. Tell us a little bit about that. The whole David and Goliath. What's your take on that?
Group of guys, just kind of give a little backstory in history. A group of guys saw that certain hedge funds were not really hedging. They were putting all their money into shorting certain stocks, GameStop and AMC being two of the biggest, that widely known, that it became a phenomenon. And so these guys decided to, hey, let's go do what the actual hedge funds and the big banks do every day. Let's put some large sums of money and let's go squeeze them. So squeeze means that you're forcing them, the price to go the opposite direction of where they were betting. They were betting that the price was going to go short or come down. So they started buying in big volume, and they recruited a lot of people around the world to do so. And that short squeezed them. And now you force those hedge funds to have to cover their shorts, because they're borrowing money. Again, a lot of technicals, but we'll break it down for you later on. A lot of technicals in that, but you're forcing them to have to now cover their losses. And when you cover the losses, all you're doing is they're transferring that money from, the Wall Street bet guys and their following, from the hedge funds. So they literally beat them at their own game.
So kind of like just turning the tables on them. Is that really what it is? Wow. Has that really happened before in the market?
In this manner, no. It happens all the time from the standpoint of, the big banks and the hedge funds. But where the little guy is able to get in there and actually have the capital and the resources behind them to do so, to my knowledge, it hasn't happened.
Wow.
It was great to see.
Yeah. That is exciting. Exciting times.
Oh,
right?
it is. So we're going to take a break right here, and then we're going to get back with Mr. Nathan Williams. He's going to break down his software that he created to help you understand and learn his platform to really be successful trading options. Again, this is the Wealth and Legacy Show, the place where your money matters. I'm your host, Ezra Spear, my co-host, Marsha Song.
Yeah, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
When people stop talking to each other, society is on the edge. Let's bring them back. Edge Radio, because truth still matters.
Hey y'all, I'm Robin B.
And I'm Dr. Kiva.
And we just want to know
How you living?
Join us every Monday
At noon Central Standard Time.
here on Edge Radio TV. Take care.
When people stop talking to each other, society is on the edge. Let's bring them back. Edge Radio, because truth still matters.
Welcome back to the Wealth and Legacy Show, the place where your money matters. I'm your host, Ezra Spear, my co-host, Marsha Song. Our special guest today is Mr. Nathan Williams. He's going to now break down stock options. And let me ask the first question. What is stock options and how does that differ from, say, somebody day trading and somebody like, trading is buying regular options or stocks?
Yeah, sure. So a stock is a share of a company. So you're owning a percentage of a company. Because they have, every company that's public has so many shares. Or some of your we call stock. With an option contract, you actually are buying the option to buy the stock of that company. So you don't necessarily have to own it. You can make money on the value going up or down. Whereas with stocks, if you buy just the stock, you only make money when the price goes up. And you have to have a even more larger account to margin if you want to sell a stock, which is very uncommon. And you have to have the securities for it.
So option is more like a tentative agreement to purchase?
Correct. It is a agreement that you have the option to buy a contract at a certain price point once you buy it at a later date.
You basically leasing the car.
At least to own.
Yeah, that's what you're doing. So let's give people, the viewers, an idea. So the first screen we have, you break it down for us, basically talks about what is log into a brokerage account and what they see.
Sure. So here's an option screen here. shows you, as you see here, July 2nd, July 9th, July 16th. These are the different contract types you can buy. Because again, contracts are all based off of time. So you can buy a weekly contract. It can be a 2-week contract, 3-week contract, which means that you have that much time before your contract expires. So as long as the price is above or below, depending on the direction you're trading of that time frame, or before that time frame ends, you make money. Now, if it's not and the time frame ends, then you lose money. But the beautiful thing is you only lose what you risk. So it won't take all your money. So as long as you practice proper risk management, you can do very well with this. Below this, these weeklies, you see chart here, that talks, shows you the actual prices. So on the left-hand side, where you see the red and green numbers at, that is for your puts, and on the right-hand side, that is for your calls. And in the middle, 1460, 1480, 1500, you see there, you're seeing your strike prices. Now, what is put? What is call? So a put means that you are expecting price to rise. I'm sorry, to fall. I apologize. And a call, you're expecting price to rise. Again, you can trade both directions. And I think to your point earlier, with an option, you don't need as much money for to control as much. Because most people don't know that when you buy an option contract, you're buying the option to purchase 100 shares of that stock. So you're controlling 100 shares of that stock for that time frame. And at the end of that time frame, you can either choose to execute that option and purchase all 100 shares if you have just one contract, or you can not, and you can just take the profits off the table of what you made, or take the loss if you had a loss.
So Nate, let me ask you, we see, like you said, weekly. So explain how the weeks are set up, or how does somebody know what to buy? I see July, July 2nd, July 9th, July 16th. I mean. Sure.
So every weekly contract, you have weekly contracts, you have monthly contracts, yearly contracts.
Oh, who sets those contracts?
The brokers do.
Okay.
You got the brokers, you have the liquidity providers. So for example, CME, they're a liquidity provider, and they set, if a certain broker utilizes them, they set the market, they set the tone, they set the actual contracts, they set the premiums for each contract. Typically, if your contract is a weekly or a 2-week or 1 month, you typically have a different premium. So the less time you have for your contract, the higher the premium, but the bigger the reward. And then of course, the longer term contract you have, the lower the premium, but the smaller reward as far as, and it's all based off of a combination of time decay when it comes to your actual option contracts, which is something we'll get more into if you at a later date.
Now I want to get into your software you put together, because this really helps simplify the understanding and learning curve for individuals who are interested in getting more education, because a lot of people are interested in learning before they start doing.
And it's really technical information too.
Yeah, so I want to really break down the software, because I think that those who have already been using it and they've seen great success with it.
Correct.
So I want to basically help them understand what they're looking at and how this thing really works.
Yeah, sure. So create an indicator, I call it the BAG indicator. Really catchy name. And BAG doesn't stand for get to the money. We all know BAG is slang for get money, get paid. For me, BAG in the technical form, it stands for bounce, arrow, go. So when price, as you see here on the chart, you've got candlesticks. Candlesticks are a form of a way of identifying price on the chart. When those candlesticks bounce off of a green zone, which is what we call support, and if you have red zones, those are resistance, so the floor and the ceiling, because that's all price does. Every day it bounces off the floor and the ceiling. Every day the goal is to know when to get into the trade after it's bounced and in what direction. So you see in the top right-hand corner, the indicator already tells you the overall trend of the actual stock that you're looking at. This is we have here at Amazon. When price, you see on the far left, price bounced off the floor. You then had 2 up arrows back to back. Those are great times to then enter into, at that price point, an options trade. And then you can hold from there, based on your strategy, short term or long term. So it's a very simple strategy, very simple tools. And the BAG strategy, the way that I teach it, those who actually get opportunity to use the software are getting to learn an actual proprietary Wall Street strategy that the Wall Street millionaires and billionaires use for their firms, to actually trade the options market.
That's very, very impressive. Now once you go through that process, I want to understand, what does the executed trade look like? So once you buy the option and we go through that part, okay, I bought, say a week, 100 shares. What I look like? What does it look like now?
Sure.
So how can I gauge my profit?
So most platforms will have their own watch list that you can actually track your stocks that you're watching every day. But then you also have a positions platform that actually shows the actual positions of each trade. So you actually see the plus or minus. Here you can see that trade I executed. You had both Netflix and the S&P 500. So I was shorting both of those because based on the indicator itself and then the actual market, price was trending down. So you can see there, it tells you the overall mark, which is current price or value of the actual strike price for each asset, because the S&P 500 or SPY is not a stock, it's an actual index. Netflix is a stock, and Netflix is part of the actual S&P index. You can see I close these trades. So usually P&L open will tell you from a standpoint of that open, is the trade actually open? And how much money are you making or losing on that trade? And then P&L for the day just tells you your profit or loss for the day. So if you hold the trade more than one day, your profit and loss goes up and down for that particular day. And then you can see there on the very bottom, P&L for the day, I closed out all my trades because you see that on the open side, nothing's open. So I closed out a total of $9,300 because I was shorting, I believe, 30 contracts of Netflix and 60 contracts of S&P. Was what I was trading that day. And so based on when I actually got into the market on each of these, dictates how much money you actually make on each asset. So
your software really helps give information it's a tool to help people to find the right trades.
Correct. The whole goal is to help you identify the trend, because you always want to trade in the direction of the market. Number two, it helps you identify the actual momentum of the actual asset you're looking at. And then from there, it also helps you identify the entry point. When you have those three, those are the three areas that most beginners really fail and struggle with understanding those three. But when you can combine all those three, if you master it, you can have turnouts of being able to have almost $10,000 days.
Great, that's a lot of great information. Thank you, Nate.
It is. So as we can wrap up, I want to ask you one question. What is your take on cryptocurrency, and do you think it's going to be the wave of the future? I mean, what are you seeing in the market?
So crypto is already the wave of the future. Crypto has already changed the way that we're doing everything. When you have banks and hedge funds that are now starting to put 5-10% of their capital, of their overall portfolio into the crypto market to get some exposure to it, there's going to be a juggernaut later on down the line. Because 5% of a pension fund may be 10 times or can be 10 times the overall size or market value of all crypto. So it's going to be the way of the future. You already see, the way things are going. The banks are now working on building their own digital currency, which is, a form of cryptocurrency. You see that, there are actually hedge funds now that solely only are designed and raise capital just for cryptocurrency. So I can go on and on, but crypto is the way of the future. If you haven't had an opportunity to really dig your heels in and really understand what it is about, or at least grab you some and understand how it works, you need to, because you're going to be missing out, because eventually one day it's going to be the way that we actually conduct business and live our life.
Wow.
That's powerful. That's a mouthful right there. So let me ask you this. How can people get a hold of you, reach out to you, get more information, and follow you on all your social media handles?
So you can follow me on Instagram at Nate Got the Bag. Instagram, also YouTube, same handle. So YouTube, I've got a YouTube channel at Nate Got the Bag. And then on Facebook, Nathan J. Williams.
That'll work. So you guys stay tuned. We got next segment coming up. There's going to be your 3 financial tips, as well as we're going to give you guys a free gift. Again, you're watching the Wealth and Legacy Show. I'm your host, Ezra Spear, my co-host, Marsha Stone. See you in a few.
Don't push me because I'm close to the edge.
I'm trying not to lose my head.
Hey, this is the Talk About Unity show where I bring the talk.
And I bring the unity.
And together we talk about unity. Unity is what matters.
Come on.
And right now in our country, that's what we've got to do. So we do that here at Talk About Unity on the Edge Radio Network. Be with us every week.
It's going to be awesome. It always is. And I tell you what, the more we seek first to understand, then be understood, we make progress.
And we like to do that. And that's why everybody's on the brink. We love what we do at Edge Radio because everybody's on the edge. We bring them back from the edge and we bring the unity. So we're just glad. Edge Radio Network every Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. Talk about unity because here at Edge Radio Network, truth still matters.
Edge Radio TV is holding auditions for new show hosts. Are you a subject matter expert, professional, influencer, book author, thought leader, or business owner with an educational or motivational platform? Then we want to meet you. Send a link of some of your work to edgeradio20@gmail.com and be sure to put audition in the subject line. Join the Edge Radio TV family. Edge TV, because truth still matters.
Welcome back to the Wealth and Legacy Show, the place where your money matters. I'm your host, Ezra Spear, my co-host, Monster Song. And now we're going to get into the exciting part of the show regarding financial tips for the week. Things that you can do to help adjust and modify your financial outlook. So, Marsha, I'll let you go ahead and tee it off.
This is so exciting, folks. Gather everybody around, including the cat. So you're paying for the insurance. Now, we want to really keep it really, really simple. I think one of the big things is, by the way, appreciate, Nate joining us today, talking about stocks. Definitely. And, one of the things, as he was talking, just to go back real quick, is how technical it is. You really have to know what you're doing. And so going back to financial, everyone always says, well, I can't save anywhere, or I don't know how to save. And the truth is, like, as Nate was talking about stocks, and I was like overwhelmed, like, we really don't know our finances. We really don't. We have a lot of people, they just pay when they see a bill. They don't even know if it's accurate. They don't know if they're paying the third time this month. Things are in auto pay as well. A lot of people say, I don't know what's being debited, and you guys, if it's automatically connected to your bank account, that's it. It's gone.
That's it. That's
so
it.
I think number one, to even know how to save or what to save, you have to really know what are all your bills. And you talk about going back to the overhead. What is your overhead? Know what bills you're paying. Know what's on auto pay, and know when you need to pay those bills.
I think that's really important because I know a lot of people when we talk to them about budgeting, things of that nature, they know that they had these bills coming out. And I found it, and I had to ask themselves, you realize before you get your own paycheck, somebody already has their hand in your pocket. That's literally what auto debit does. You have somebody set on auto debit, so they're going to pull their money out of your account that you worked for before you buy a nice dinner to reward yourself from the last 2 weeks worth of good work. That's a problem. Like, how they won't get paid before you get paid?
Exactly. They get their money first.
Yeah. So,
and you gave it to them. You gave them your number, your bank account number, rounding number, everything like that.
All the above. So look, I mean, like, why you do that to yourself? How you budget? But how can you manage your money, because I know for me personally, online internet service, right? Yeah. So they have a lot of promotional rates. Cable providers do the same thing. So if you have the promotional rates set, and you know, okay, they're good for 12 months, 9 months. But if you on auto debit, you don't see the increase in price. You don't know that I need to call and then request that same discount again. So I think you're right. It's very important. People need to look at their bills to know exactly what they're paying. And they might be losing discounts and think that they have them and don't have them at all.
That's true. And you know, another thing that I just thought about too, that Ezra, that's really big, is ever since a lot of these companies had like those subscription services, you know, there are just, I'm sure, millions of viewers out there, you guys know who you are, that, you know, you sign up because it's that monthly club or quarterly whatever. I mean, you know, I mean, skincare, ladies, come on. You know, you sign up and because it's cheaper, and you don't realize 2 years, 3 years, 4 years later, you're still paying for that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and music subscription. There's just a ton of stuff out there that people don't even remember what they subscribe for. And they're getting automatically charged or debited.
And you know what's funny? Like, it's only $8.99. It's not that much money. It's $4.99. That's not much money.
But multiply that.
Times 12 is a lot of money.
You're like, is this going on year 10?
Exactly.
Exactly.
So no, tip number 2 I'll give these guys, because right now we all know that interest rates have been at an all-time low for a very long time. And so we look at refinancing things. When do I know when to refinance, and how do I refinance? And do you charge to refinance? Well, the answer to all those questions is this right here. Yes, you do pay a fee to refinance, but if you refinance properly, so what I mean by refinancing properly, when you refinance your house, so say you have a traditionally 30-year mortgage, you've been living there 12 years, so you have 18 more years left to pay it off. You want to partake in a low interest rate environment, so you want to consider refinancing. When you refinance to keep that same 18 years left you have. You don't refinance and add 30-year mortgage.
So it's not always about, you want to take advantage of the low interest rates or lower, but it's not always about the lowest rate. If it's going to tag on term. Yeah.
Yes, it's about the length of the mortgage. So those goes hand in hand. So if you can say you have a 3.5 interest rate, you could refinance for a 2.5. And you have 18 years left to go on your home, you want to refinance to 2.5, but then lock in a 12-year term. Don't go back to 30 years. And be mindful of when the cash out option they're going to offer you. You want to pay off some bills, you can refinance and pull some cash out, pay bills off of if you want to. Typically, I tell people just want to leave the term alone, leave the equity inside the house. I'm really not a fan of taking loans to pay bills. You just basically did another loan. So it doesn't really make
the
that
banks
much sense.
are like, wait, we don't like you guys.
Oh, they don't mind that. I mean, okay, I'll give you, get rid of small loans.
Banks are like, here, you want to refinance? Sure, another 30-year term, 40-year term.
No, but I did it in my personal house. I've saved $100,000 when I refinanced my house. I took one from a 28-year mortgage to I want to say a 20-year mortgage. So that's 8 years off my mortgage. But let me also add to that, your mortgage payment does go up when you condense time. So you want to make sure that you're able to manage that payment. But to me, it makes sense because one thing you also realize, your insurance goes up every year on your house, as well as your your taxes. Both of those things go up.
Oh, and property taxes go up.
Now, the last point we're going to talk about today is credit cards.
Okay. Another financial tip. Everybody, okay, come on, get the wax of the year. Come on, pay attention. I think this hits everybody, right?
It does. And so the biggest thing I want to pay attention to with your credit cards is when you're paying off, make the minimum payment first before you pay the bigger payment. So what I mean by that is a lot of people, they paid off credit cards, say they owe $500, right? So they pay the credit card off. They pay $500 at one time, right? But then they get a bill the next month saying that they owe $25. Well, why is that? 'Cause I just paid $500. Why do I have a bill for $25 left off? It's because they apply interest to that payment. So when you apply interest to that payment of $500, you still receive $25 left over that you got to pay. So you want to make sure that when you make that payment, make the minimum payment first, and then pay the overage that you want to pay, because they do not apply interest to that payment.
But some people are saying, I pay my bill every month. Why would I be paying, or maybe not every month, but like you said, how do they know they're going to be charged interest? Like, what do you mean by paying the bigger amount
Statement
later?
date and due date. That's what you got to pay attention to. You need to call, find out where your statement date is, and then when your due date is, to make sure what you're paying applies strictly towards your premium or your principal balance, and then you're able to avoid paying the extra interest.
God. Okay, so everyone right now is like logging in, going, wait, my statement date, my due date.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Very
what it
important.
is.
Very important. That's good to know.
Now, to help you understand all of this, we have a free gift for you guys. It's a book I wrote entitled Understanding Your Budget. It's to help you basically write all this stuff out. Because I know we talk about a lot about financing, where do you get started. It's very important that we give you the tools necessary to give you at least a starting point to build upon your financial future. And so what I'd like to do is email giveaway@wealtheducationacademy.com. Again, email giveaway@wealtheducationacademy.com to receive the free copy of the book, or you could text 346-273-2001 to receive a free copy of the book.
And yes, please make sure you text your email, folks. Not just say, please send me a book.
Yeah,
We need
email, when I send it to you, I need to be able to communicate with you to do so.
Yes. So no, that'd be great. That's a great tool. So as we're talking about, saving and knowing what you're going to pay and to see what, develop a financial strategy, that will come in really handy. So yes, make sure you email us for that free gift.
So we want to thank Mr. Nathan Williams for coming in on show today to
Yes.
give you some real powerful information regarding stock options. And I want to thank my co-host here, Ms. Lovely Marshall Sohn. Thank you for being here today. And I want you guys to have a wonderful week. Stay tuned to next week's episode.
Bye-bye.